Hi, this is Brent from PathandTarot, the YouTube channel as well as the blog of the same name. I'm your content creator as well as a webmaster. So here we are in another video where we're going to be using the Go board as well as our elemental deck and our CBD Tarot deck. We're going to be combining the cards in a new way that we haven't done before on video. So far we've had the cards stay on one side or the other and just stay within on one side of the board. But now we're going to mix up the cards a bit and see what happens. We're also going to use the space that would be otherwise taken up by those decks. If you watched other videos, you'd see that the decks would take up a space on the board, but this time we're going to use all the spaces, mix up the cards, and we're going to see what happens. I didn't do any preparation other than just shuffle the decks really well. I gave each deck a good 10 riffle shuffles, threw them around a bit to prepare them, and we're going to see how that works. So last time we did a little bit more of a ritual, to charge the decks a bit, but this time, wanted to see what happens without doing that. Sometimes you just got to take away the teddy bear and see what happens. So here we are, the decks are ready to go. We're just going to draw one card off each top of the deck to place onto the board, and we're just going to use our intuition and some of the pattern matching that I've mentioned before to fit the cards together on the board, and then we'll see what we get, and then we'll zoom into the cards and we'll get a closer look at the cards. So I'll take the camera off the tripod and you'll get a closer look. So here we go. We'll get the cards out here. There'll be some links in the description, of course, if you want to go a little bit deeper into the website and learn more about tarot. So there'll be that for you. So let's get started. Let's just get right into it. So what should we do? Should we do the tarot or the elements? What should we? Elements. I feel like we should do the elements. So what we're gonna do is I'll place the card in the starting position here. I'm gonna use the left side because the cards are here. It makes sense. And then we'll just alternate and we'll just keep placing the cards. So we'll be doing 1, 2, 3, 4, just as we done last time, and then we'll be able to use the up and down sections on the board to kind of paint the picture that we want here. So let's do this. Draw air. So let's just So each card basically takes up about 6 squares, and it's about 3 squares wide. So as you see here, there is a little bit of space, and we'll use that to our advantage. We'll either slide the card up or down like this, depending on what connections are above or below it, or side by side. And we can use that a little bit of space to our advantage here. So let's draw a tarot card, and there we go. So we've got some swords. And that's nice to see because swords are of the air element. Actually, let's get that. There you go. Okay, so there we go. Let's get another element in here. Fire. Perfect. So this is really cool. We're seeing a nice connection develop here. I can place the cards wherever I want, but I almost want to keep the elements here. But then I could also create a nice connection here, because the swords are also, I think I'm going to do that. Mainly to illustrate that the elements can move around from, they can go over from side to side. So I'm going to do that because I felt like I wanted to keep it here, but maybe just to line up with what we're doing as a whole. So here we go, the Chariot. Yeah, I guess we have to really place it here, but I said that we would go 1, 2, 3, 4 like that, but maybe I'm just going to change it, let's change the rules. Let's take away the teddy bear and go for a walk or something. I feel like maybe the Chariot should go... I want it to go... I think here, this would make sense because we've got a good elemental connection, and then the Chariot's a major arcana card, so it's really kind of more connected to spirit if we were going to compare it to the elements. So maybe that's going to be a cool connection. So okay, let's go. There we go. So we've got a sub-element of fire inside of water. This is cool. Where could we do this? Oh, it's a pretty neat color, isn't it? I like that combination. Well, I think it would be a good fit probably here. Just because we've got fire here, we've got a nice connection of air and fire, but even though water doesn't really fit, it is still a sub-element, so it does count. It would make a connection. Yeah, that seems... We'll see. You know what? Let's just do that, and we'll see how the rest of it turns out. You know, maybe it'll create a cool connection. Here we go, the Fool. I haven't seen this card in quite a while, actually. It's nice that it's come up now. Let's see where we can put this. I feel like it'll go here. That kind of makes sense. Because maybe the Fool's journey has to go out this way, and it has to get to here maybe, or it has to get to the Chariot. I don't know. That seems like maybe a good connection. So here we go. Spirit. Maybe we can... Yeah, you know what? I'm going to do this because I feel that Spirit connects with all the elements, and so if we put Spirit near the sub-element, it'll maybe connect more like that with, you know, this kind of section creating a nice connection, because the water doesn't connect with the fire very well, but maybe pushing the Spirit into it would help that. So let's go with that. Here we go, another tarot card. We've got 6 of coins. So this is of the earth element. We don't really have any earth kicking around here, so maybe what we could do is we'll do this. Why don't we put it beside the Spirit? Because Spirit connects with any of the other elements. At least that's how I'm treating it. You can, of course, think whatever you like. But I think that's what works here, you know, in this system of, you know, what we're doing for these cards. So that makes sense, because then, you know, earth and spirit, they'll connect. Then on the other side, you've got, you know, more elements coming out of it. So maybe that's a good connection, because now we've got, you know, more of the other elements all sort of harmonized in some way. So there's a tarot card. Let's draw out other elements. We've got more air. So let's, maybe what I can do, if I can put it up here, have a connection I do here. Earth and air don't really mix, so maybe let's do this. Let's put it up here. So we've got a nice air connection with the Fool, like this, and then we still have space just in case we get something that matches with the earth. So we've got more swords. So this is kind of cool. So maybe what we'll do is this. We'll put the swords here. As you can see, the swords, I don't know if we'll get wands, but we'll see. But the wands and the swords, if you haven't seen this tarot deck before, swords and the wands kind of, they almost look similar, but you can tell they're swords because they're bent. It's got a bend, just the way the style of the card is for the Tarot de Marseille reproduction by Dr. Yov Ben Dov. So here we go. We got more air, lots of air. So this is pretty cool. But what are we gonna do with this? Because I'll just put the card here. Because we've got all these connections all nice and tight, kind of going inwards. But if I was to put a card down here, I couldn't. I would have to slide them down a bit, and so I'd lose a connection up there to make a connection up here. So it'd be kind of separating the cards a bit. So maybe what we'll do is this. We'll just put the air. I think we'll have to do that. Or no, maybe let's do. let's do this because we've got the air element connecting with fire there, but we've got the earth kind of stuck up there. So maybe, I guess we'll have to use this spot to wait for something to connect with the earth. So we did an element, let's do a, there we go. So we've got more coins. So maybe this, maybe we'll do this. We'll put the coins right here to have a connection. Actually, what I'll do is this. I'll slide the coins up like that because they don't really connect with the fire, or sorry, the air. They just kind of connect by themselves. But yeah, I think we'll do, that makes sense. So we've got basically the bottom to work with now. Okay, so we got spirit. Maybe let's put the spirit down like that. Let's slide it up. So we can do that. More coins. Why don't we, yeah, this is easy because then we got, you know, this connection. Spirit and earth can go together. You know what we got to do with another elements. Now we've got fire, or sorry, sub-element earth inside of water. So maybe we'll do this because we've got our earth elements up here going through the Fool. And the Fool is kind of like your doorway to almost anywhere, right? It's the beginning of the Fool's journey. So maybe this makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Let's do that. Let's try another two. So yeah, we got cups. So it's becoming a little bit easier to put together now. So now we've got, you know, this is the element of water, so we've got a nice strong connection here. So let's do an element. There we go. So we got some earth. Put that right beside the spirit there, and then we've got our last card, which is water. We got our cups. We got some more water going. So there we go. This is turned out to be fairly interesting because we've got a really strong, you know, air and fire element connection happening. Let's just kind of clean up these cards a bit. So we've got a really strong connection right up in here with fire, and then we've got the sub-element water, but then we're seeing water kind of happen at the bottom, so maybe there's this sort of extra connection that's not part of the board that's coming down here, almost like maybe some astral connection. I don't know, something beyond this physical space. Maybe that kind of makes sense. And then this is kind of its own separate connection down here because we've got the space that is dividing these cards. So that's why the space is kind of nice, because it can help give you a visual of the connection. And you know, these sort of methods are all kind of being borrowed from the game of Go, and you know, knowing what we know about elements and how they work together and the tarot cards and all that. So yeah, this makes sense. And we've got our coins up here kind of slightly offset, a little bit disconnected, but still they're harmonizing here down with the coins and the earth and the water energies. So yeah, this turned out to be really good. This worked out really well, I think. I wonder what you set your intentions to be. We didn't talk about that at the beginning of the video, but for me, I wanted to ask, how can we deliver a good reading? And I think we did that here again today with this. I think this turned out really well. We've got some nice connections. There were some, you know, maybe potential complications, you know, up here, but it seemed to all just work out. It just, you know, everything kind of fit together very nicely at the very end, and you know, creating these connections. So I think this is great. You know, we can see how spirit is able to kind of connect with all the other elements, maybe sort of pin together sub-elements that maybe don't necessarily work, but you know, have the ability to connect with other things. So you know, we've got really only one major arcana card, you know, the Chariot. So that's kind of a cool, actually no, sorry, we got two, the Fool and the Chariot. So that's interesting. So mostly we're dealing with you know, the minor arcana cards. We've got a good mixture of all the elements. We've got air, earth, water, but we don't have any wands, so we just have fire here to represent that. So this was great. So why don't we just go ahead and take the camera off the tripod and get closer in. Here we are, back into the cards. Got you in my hand, and we're going to start with the Fool. Kind of a nice way to start. It's really cool to have the Fool come up in card spreads, because it really reminds you of, you know, the beginning of the journey. So maybe that's a good message for us here. Maybe this is like a new phase of the website and YouTube channel. Maybe a new path for how the content is going to evolve and change over time. So here we go. Got the 2 air elements. That's kind of a neat little picture right there. Just as I'm looking into the camera, I've got my, you know, you're seeing what you're seeing, and then I have got like a little screen on my camera here. It's just a little handheld Canon thing. Yeah, it's kind of cool. And then we move over here, we've got swords. Swords and swords with the... Actually, that's pretty... I didn't, you know, that I didn't really think of that, because you've got, you know, the 2 air elements, and then you've got fire right there, and then you've got more fire up here with water, and it's pointing down. Yeah, and you got chariot and spirit. Yeah, that worked out pretty neat. We get a picture of that like this. And you've got the coins up here with the Fool. And it's interesting to work with these style of cards with the, you know, the minor arcana, and, you know, they don't have images, they're just the symbols of the suit, you know, arranged in some sort of geometrical way with patterns and whatnot. So that's kind of a cool message, you know, because these are coins, they're not pentacles exactly, but, you know, that all kind of ends up being the same type of thing, you know, connecting with the earth element and that type of energy. So maybe that's where this is all leading to. The coins, what could that mean? Sorry, that's the table being noisy. The table's talking. Let's let the table talk. Okay, alright, quiet. You've spoken enough. Okay. Nope. What else we got here? That's kind of a cool. This is a really neat connection. So maybe the journey comes in through here with swords with a lot of action and fire, maybe changing, purifying, you know, yourself through fire. Some emotion up here with that, you know, and then you're taken into a journey through the chariot. And maybe the chariot's going to connect down here, maybe, because then you've got your portals of water up here, and then you've got the power to do that through your major arcana card, and then you've got more coins, you know, 8 of coins, so you've got more, and you've got more emotion, water. Lots of love, maybe. Emotion, love. Not really connecting into the, you know, what we would normally think of the meanings of the cards of the minor arcana. I'm just sort of thinking about the shapes, how many of the shapes there are. Just using that at this time to see what we can draw from this. And then, yeah, it makes sense down here with the spirit, and you've got, you know, the earth here, and you've got more pentacles and water. So this is, and it makes sense that this is below all the other cards. Yeah, that kind of works out. I wonder what you were thinking when you were watching this. What questions you had. Did this answer any of your questions, maybe? It definitely gave a good reading for me here. Maybe it helped understand at least maybe more of myself and how I'm growing as a content creator, you know, on YouTube and with my blog and all that. Yeah, this is really good. I like this. I like this as card spread here. It worked out really good, and I'm glad that we used the card space instead of putting the deck here, because that's what we have been doing. So, but the fact that it's mixed like this, I thought that makes sense. You know, let's just have the deck off to the side here like that. So there you go. Let's kind of zoom back out a bit. Get a good look at it. I don't think I'll put you back on the tripod. I think this is the end of the video. That's really all there is to talk about with the cards. So there you go. Again, there'll be some links in the description below if you want to learn more about tarot, or read some of the other topics on my blogs there. There'll be links for that, you know, and some helpful product links as well too, if you want to learn more about that as well. I think that's about it. And then, you know, if you want to subscribe, go ahead. You know, but it's really up to you if you want to have a notification when these videos come up, because they may come out somewhat infrequently. That's kind of the thing, is that, you know, the content's really only going to come out when it's ready and, you know, it's of quality that I feel is good. So that may cause a, you know, maybe an infrequent post schedule. But there it is. We'll see you next time in another interesting reading. Okay, see you out there.